Garvey, a Jamaican political activist, was trying to break blacks away from white establishments, but was met with opposition from the black gatekeepers. In a New York Times article titled, "Is There a Black Upper Class?" by Monte Williams, March 7, 1999, he details when it was announced that in July 1990, Boulay met in LA, and it was announced that a great elite group of men was meeting. In 1927, the Great Mississippi Flood covered the entire Delta, displacing thousands of residents who, after being stranded on a levee, were desperate for food and shelter. Those on the levee were forced to work at gunpoint in an event known as the Greenville Camp. Presidential hopeful Herbert Hoover, wishing to avoid scandal, was advised to get big Negroes into the Republican Party. Hoover looked to Sigma Phi Pi member Robert Russa Moton, previous advisor on behalf of President Woodrow Wilson, to investigate discriminatory conditions with African Americans. After reporting that indeed the conditions were deplorable, he was told to keep quiet about the matter, and once Hoover was elected as president, Moton was promised that he and his people would be put in key positions to make changes. From this, the Colored Advisory Commission was formed and led by Moton. The bankrupt farms were also given to these black administrators. Indeed, Moton became the second principal of Tuskegee Institute behind the death of George Washington Carver, who was also Sigma Pi Phi. While Robert Moton was head of the institute, a clinical study began known as the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment, lasting from 1932 to 1972. During this study, conducted in Macon County, Alabama, African American men were unknowingly injected with syphilis, and the effects of the disease on the body were secretly monitored. Many places are named after R.R. Moton, including Moton Field, the training base for the Tuskegee Airmen in World War II. Per CIA documents, R.R. Moton was found to be a spy for the U.S., working for the CIA, who would run and tell what Marcus Garvey would speak about in his meetings. Stokely also goes further to mention Vernon Jordan, a black lawyer and lifelong member of the Council on Foreign Relations and member of the Bilderberg Group. He was also advisor to Bill Clinton. Clinton's first Bilderberg Group was by invitation of Vernon Jordan. According to the article in the New York Times, Jordan will be remembered as one of the most influential behind-the-scenes advisors in Washington and on Wall Street, who currently strolled the halls of power while mentoring generations of black leaders. In a book by Lawrence Otis Graham titled Our Kinds of People, he writes how the stepping stone of the black elite is college fraternities and sororities and social clubs for adults tailored to the black aristocracy. Like Stokely, he believed the Boulay and the Divine Nine were lower levels of a bigger hierarchy. But who?